Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Okay, Hare Krishna, dear you. Thank you very much. Jai Shri Gurudev ki Jai, Shri Prabhupada ki Jai. Okay, now who remembers what did we discuss last time in the beginners program? Now, I know you would not, so I want you to discuss among yourselves what are the points that we discussed. I'll join you in a minute. Sorry, Hare Krishna. I came back. What's anyone remembers? Beginners program? We had a quiet time. We had a silence time, meditation time. Right? I thought you guys are very serious, so you should know. Yeah? Let's ask individually. Okay, so who was there now? Shuchi, you remember Shuchi?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, something's happening here.
Hare.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Sorry, your voice cracked, Prabhuji.
Yes, so where did we what did we study? Where we were at for the beginners program?
I also don't remember, Prabhuji, right now.
No problem. I'll ask everybody individually. Okay, that's Pratika. What about you?
Prabhuji, do you mean Preeti?
Sorry, there's a lag here, so I can't hear you. Yes, Preeti. Tell me, Preeti.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Last time we did the realizations,
Yes.
and before that,
Mhm.
I could not
beginners
attend
program.
one session.
We had done the beginners program.
Beginners, I think we discussed about food, that we should try to offer food to Krishna, and
Okay.
food without onion and
Good.
garlic.
Okay. So if you don't attend, do you go to our YouTube channel and watch the channel?
Yes, Prabhuji. Last to last Sunday also we did the realization. So I
Yeah. And before
watched
that?
that program.
Yeah.
Before that, we discussed about this food. I'm telling that we should offer food to Krishna. That session was attended by me.
Very good. So it was a food that was to be offered to Krishna. Yeah.
Yes,
That's what we
Prabhuji.
discussed.
Yes.
Now anybody else remembers now? Suchi, you remember now? What about Rupali, mother? What about you? Do you remember? Is she around?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. She just texted me that she is in the office.
She's not there?
She's attending the
Yeah,
class, but
she's
she's
here.
in her office.
She's there. Oh, she's in her office. Okay. No problem. That's all right. Okay. Very nice. Let us continue with our discussion then. In the science of self-realization, I wanted to quickly check one thing. Okay. So first of all, those of you who have given your this thing, in our question answers, which is very good. I didn't realize that I have to actually tell that these are the people who are in the beginners program. It is true. I'm not criticizing, I'm just telling you no, actually. So once you tell them, then you understand, okay, they're talking to me. In a group situation, it is very interesting, It is very, very interesting. So I think that is what was needed to say. These are the people who are in the beginners program. Can you please give your realizations? All right. Hold on, please. 1 minute. Right. So I want to start. Am I lagging now, or is it okay now? Is it all right? Everything is okay? Okay. So who would like to read? We want to start today on the Bhagavad Gita concepts and the basic of it, So who will be the volunteer for the beginners program, please? Okay. Well, from the intermediate program, who would like to be volunteer to read?
I'll do it, Prabhu.
Who is this? Sorry,
Mayuresh, Prabhu.
I cannot see you. Sorry. Who's
Uh,
Mayuresh?
yeah, Prabhu.
Mayuresh wants to do it?
I'm switching on my laptop, Prabhu. Just
Okay, you're switching on your laptop. Good.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, everyone. I'm going to try and connect my dad back on. So just wait for a sec. Sorry about that.
Hare Krishna. I don't know what's happening. I got disconnected. All right, you can see. You can all hear me now. You can all of you can hear me.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Very nice. All right, let's start now. Do this. Mahesh, you there? Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. Can you read this now?
Yes.
Wonderful. Let's start, please.
Discovering the truths. Yeah. Discovering the roots, the immortal nectar of Bhagavad Gita. Through the centuries, India's greatest philosophers and spiritualists have praised the Bhagavad Gita as the distilled essence of the eternal Vedic wisdom. In his meditation on Bhagavad Gita versified here, the renowned 6th century philosopher Shankara glorifies the Gita and its divine author Sri Krishna. Although universally celebrated as an impersonalist, here Shankara reveals his devotion to the original personal form of God, Lord Sri Krishna, and Srila Prabhupada elucidates.
Okay, so here, this is a discussion. This is Prabhupada writes about Shankaracharya. So the impersonalists, who formed current day Hinduism, where all God are one. You worship Shiva or Ganesha or Indra, Brahma, everyone is one. There are 330 million devas, right? All are one. So whatever you go, it goes to the same place. This is this concept. So it was started by Shankaracharya. And there was a reason why he started there. But anyway, here in this discussion, Srila Prabhupada reveals that actually he was also a Vaishnava, Shankaracharya, who is an incarnation of Lord Shiva. Bhagavan Shankaracharya is a very big authority, very, very important personality. And we have all respects for him. So here now, Prabhupada reveals how Shankaracharya is a covered personalist. So on his otherwise, everyone who are follow the Shankaracharya, they would say that the Parabrahman is God, Krishna is not God, Shiva is also not God. They are all coming from the
Sorry, you lagged out at the end when you said that all followers of Shankaracharya, and then you lagged out.
Yeah, all followers of Shankaracharya, they are impersonalists. They accept that they think that overall is Brahman, impersonal effulgence. And all these different devatas are all the same. They are not different, they are the same. You know? And but internally, Shankaracharya is also a personalist, worshipper of Krishna. So that's where this is his reputation, what is written, and Srila Prabhupada is now clarifying this position of Shankaracharya. Okay, so please, if you can read Mayuresh Prabhu, that will be wonderful. Thank you.
O Bhagavad Gita poem. O Bhagavad Gita, through thy 18 chapters, thou showerest upon man the immortal nectar of the wisdom of the Absolute. O blessed Gita, by thee, Lord Krishna himself enlightened Arjuna. Afterward, the ancient sage Vyasa included thee in the Mahabharata. O loving mother, destroyer of man's rebirth into the darkness of this mortal world, upon thee I meditate. Salutation to thee, O Vyas. Salutations to thee, O Vyas, thou art of mighty intellect, and thine eyes are large as the petals of full-blown lotus. It was thou who brightened this lamp of wisdom, filling it with the oil of Mahabharata. Purport. Sripad Shankaracharya was an impersonalist from the materialistic point of view, but he never denied the spiritual form known as Satchidananda Vigraha, or the eternal, all-blissful form of knowledge that existed before the material creation.
Satchidananda Vigraha is BS, means Brahma Samhita 5.1. Yeah?
Oh, sorry, Prabhu.
No, continue. Or the eternal.
All blissful form of knowledge that existed before the material creation. When he spoke of Supreme Brahman as impersonal, he meant that the Lord's Satchidananda form was not to be confused with material conception of personality. In the very beginning of his commentary on the Gita, he maintains that Narayana, the Supreme Lord, is transcendental to the material creation. The Lord existed before the creation as the transcendental personality, and he has nothing to do with material personality. Lord Krishna is the same. The Lord Krishna is the same Supreme Personality, and he has no connection with the material body. He descends in his spiritual, eternal form, but foolish people mistake his body to be like ours. Shankara's preaching of impersonalism is specially meant for teaching foolish persons who consider Krishna to be an ordinary man composed of matter. No one would care.
Okay. Thank you very much. So, from a beginner's program, devotees, what did you understand so far, please? And then we'll have in the intermediate program also. What did you understand about this, please? If you don't understand anything, just say I didn't understand anything. No problem. So we can understand it better. You know? It's a very serious subject matter. That's why I want us to concentrate.
I could not understand anything, Prabhuji.
Same
Okay,
here.
thank you. Thank you for letting me know.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, what I get your
Sorry, who was that? Same here.
Shuchi.
Rupali said same here, and Shuchimachi was giving an answer.
Okay.
This go a bit slow. It's very confusing here from you. Excuse me. So I just didn't understand. Who was the second person who said he didn't understand?
Me, Prabhuji, Rupali Mataji.
Me, I don't understand who's me. Give me
Rupali.
your name. I can't see you. Rupali. All right. Very understand. Okay. Who's there? Anyone else from beginners? Baba Suchi?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Pooja, I also
Yes.
want you to explain this concept clearly. Even though I have a little bit of understanding, but I want clarifications.
So what did you understand? Just say that. No problem.
Like Shankaracharya ji was a personalist, but a hidden personalist. What I get from the first paragraph, and from the second paragraph, what I got to know is that he wanted to preach those who felt that Krishna is an ordinary person. But here also, I have one question: that why, being impersonalist, he wanted to preach uh, that Krishna is not an ordinary person. So why being impersonalist for that matter? If he wanted to know people that Krishna is not an ordinary person and he is the supreme personality of Godhead, then why he wanted to uh, have this impersonal approach?
Okay. Okay. Good question. Good question. Um, is there anyone from the intermediate program who would like to answer this question, please? Why did Shankaracharya preach impersonalism when he's a personalist? Mother Suchi's question.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Parth.
Prabhu, so can I, like, should I try?
Yes, Parth, you can speak. Yeah, everybody else is listening. So yeah, you can speak.
Okay. Thank you so much, Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhu, I like there, like what I've read and what I've heard from Avinash Prabhu also, that like Shankaracharya, basically he propagated the Mayavad philosophy because there was a prevalence of like Buddhist philosophy or Shunyavad at that time, and people were becoming like atheists. A lot of them, like, they were going away from the Vedas. So in order to establish the authority of Vedas, Shankaracharya propounded this impersonalist philosophy to establish the authority of Vedas and bring people back to the Vedic culture. And rest, the process of bringing people back to the personalist form was done by our Vaishnavacharyas, as you also mentioned, from Madhvacharya and all these acharyas of various sampradayas. They carry forward the work left by Shankaracharya.
Thank you. Did you understand, Suchi, a little bit here?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank
Yes,
you.
Suchi?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, all right. Now, am I audible? Because I'm with something happening to my phone. I do not know whether I'm audible or not. So you just don't nod, just say yes.
Yes, Prabhu, you're audible, Prabhu. At the moment, you're audible and visible.
Okay. I see I'm blanked out, so I don't know. Okay. Now, the thing is that it is correct. If you remember that Lord Buddha, when he preached Buddhism at a time when people were completely using karma kand philosophy of Vedas for their personal sense gratification, and they had lost the plot. The biggest thing was at that time where people would commit adultery, and for their adultery, they say we have to kill. The Vedas say we must do sacrifice and kill 100 goats, thousand goats or cows. So this is what was happening in India and major part of the world, mainly in Indian subcontinent here. So that is the reason why this animal for Krishna, all living beings are important. Unnecessary slaughter of animals because human beings are committing falsity is wrong. It's totally wrong. That is why Krishna incarnated as a special Shaktavesha avatar. So he was Vishnu Tattva, Lord Buddha, but not Vishnu as completely. He was Shakti. He was a specially empowered soul, like Jesus the Christ. Yeah. So that is the reason why when people who has come now, who has joined us? I can't see somebody joined us.
Prabhuji is my father.
Okay, okay. I can't see now. Hare Krishna. All right. So is he able to show himself? Sorry, my connection is very, very poor. Hare Krishna, Anandji. Okay, I don't know whether you can see me or not. I can't see myself. Okay, so the thing is now, because of this, it was a rampant problem. If you read the scriptures of Buddhism, or even if you read the scriptures of Jainism, you will find this that there was absolutely unnecessary cleaning in the name of Vedas. So even now, people misunderstand the Vedas and use it for their personal sense gratification. That is the reason why Krishna appeared himself as a Shaktavesha avatar, and he appeared as Lord Buddha. Although he's not Vishnu Tattva. It's a little technical, what is Vishnu Tattva and all that, we'll do it later on. But for now, to give an overall idea, it is very important. So, Lord Buddha came, and when he asked this question and saw that people are committing all wrong things, kings and non-ordinary people, but they're killing so many animals, and they would side with the Vedas. Vedas say this, Vedas say that. So they say, I don't believe in Vedas, so he took people away from the Vedas. So Buddhism is logic. It's actually religion, no, it's a logic. They don't believe in God. So when we have interaction with different religious groups, leaders, you know. So when Buddhists, they say, whenever we talk about God and all, they say, it's for Hare Krishna, yeah, for you will accept as a God, or Christians will accept as God, but we do not accept as God. There's no God. So they have acceptance of karma. They accept karma. They also accept that there is a soul in the body. But they say that at a stage of nirvana, the soul and the body both are destroyed. Okay. So this is how Lord Buddha took people completely away from the Vedas. That's why you'll find that once a big king in India, Ashoka, he also accepted Buddhism, you know. After the great battle of, what is the battle? Where he saw that so many people unnecessarily being killed.
Kalinga.
Then he accepted
Kalinga.
Buddhism.
Kalinga War.
That's right, Kalinga War. So that's when everything became Buddhists in India also, you know, and neighboring countries and all that. Now, at least with this, innocent animals, birds were protected. These are historical facts. These are all historical facts. As I said, you can refer to Buddhist literature or Jain literature, you will know this. Now, when the time was appropriate, that is when Lord Krishna requested Lord Shiva, who was his pure devotee and very, very powerful personality. Lord Shiva also is a multifaceted personality. He has different swarupas. What we know as Shankara is quite different to that of Shiva. What we know as Shiva is different to Shankara, was different to Sadashiva. Sadashiva is eternal. He's also Vishnu Tattva, as good as Krishna. So do not get confused about those things right now. We'll focus here. So that's when Lord Krishna requested Lord Shiva to say, now you please go incarnate and bring people back to from Buddhism, atheism. Basically, Buddhism is atheism. It's logic only. So you bring back people from atheism to back to the Vedas. Enough time has gone by and people have stopped killing animals for their own personal sense gratification. That is the reason why Lord Shiva incarnated as Bhagavan Shankaracharya. So Shankaracharya is very big personality. That's why he also respected as Bhagwan Shankaracharya. We call it Shripad Shankaracharya. Same way. Very important personality. So Bhagwan Shripad Shankaracharya incarnated, and he single-handedly, because he was Lord Shiva, very special personality, very powerful. He single-handedly brought people back to Vedas. Okay. So he would defeat Buddhists. Buddhism was prevalent everywhere. And that is the reason why, for people who were Buddhists, they were Shunyavadis, basically. Zero, nothing happens. At the state of Nirvana, nothing is there, nothing exists. Body, soul, both are destroyed. This is the 8th stage of liberation, they say. So, for people to make people understand this concept of soul, spirit soul, he said, okay, there is soul, but it comes from Brahmajyoti. From zero, nothingness, he brought to energy. You can't bring people straight from this level to that level. So that's why we find that many times Buddhists, there are many Buddhist devotees who are Vaishnavas now. Many. But many are not. They can't understand it. They cannot grapple with the concept that there is God. See? Again, then there are those who are impersonalists, heavy impersonalists. They can't accept the concept that God is a person. You see, and that God, in the person form, all the other demigods, they offer respect to him, they follow his instructions. It's very hard for these people also to follow. Right? Please, if you can show yourselves, it will be very nice. It's very important for me. I'm very struggling as it is with my camera and all that. I don't know if you can see me. So, this is the way, this is the reason why Lord Shiva said, okay, from Shunyavad, from nothingness, he brought to Brahmajyoti. And he said that all living beings come from the Parabrahman. It's called Parabrahman, Brahmajyoti. And all the different demigods are coming from Brahmajyoti. They are all the same. That's what he preached. But he brought people back to the Vedas. That was the main intention. Okay? And he single-handedly did this because he's a very powerful personality. Bhagwan Shankaracharya, incarnation of Lord Shiva. Now, after that was done, after some years went by, many years went by, that is when the personalists' authorities came about. Like Ramanujacharya. Now, Ramanujacharya is basically incarnation of Lord Lakshman, Shankaracharya. A big personalist. They say, okay, yes. So Vedas, yes. You say there is a soul, yes, there is a soul. There's transmigrations, yes. Soul is eternal, that's correct. But they come from from God, which is Lord Ram, Lord Krishna, Vishnu Tattvas. So you've got Ramanujacharya, the Madhvacharya came, who was again incarnation of Vayu. Many, Vishnu Swami, etc. So these are the reasons. These are simple. I'll put in a very simplistic terms for our basic understanding. But personally, Shankaracharya also worshipped Govinda. That's why at the end, when he left this material world, he gave this prayer, which is coming in this particular discussion. He says, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Bodha Mate. That's where he's, it's a very famous song, Bhajan. Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Bodha Mate. Now, Bhaja Govindam, we know, Bhaja means worship Govinda. Worship only Govinda. Mudha means foolish. Mate means your mind is foolish. If you worship anything else. That's how it is. And when it is even more, then Krishna came himself as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. See? So there's a very inner connection between Lord Shiva and Lord Krishna. So if you see, again we may jump the gun a step, but wherever there is place of pilgrimage, like say Jagannath Puri, you will always find that Lord Shiva is present there to protect the whole Bhumi. So there is a special temple of Lord Shiva there in Puri. Similarly, if you go to Vrindavan, so in Vrindavan also there is a special temple of Lord Shiva there. He never leaves Vrindavan. He protects Vrindavan. Okay. Similarly for Dwarka, same thing. So wherever there is, this is his business. That's why when Lord Ram came, his best servant was Lord Shiva in the form of Hanuman, Pavanaputra, but he's an incarnation of Lord Shiva. At the same time, when Lord Ram wanted to cross and go over to Lanka, he worshipped Lord Shiva. So it's all interconnected situation. But this is the reason why Lord Shiva came as Shankaracharya and he did not give full information about personalism. He was still impersonal, brought people from voidism, Shunyavad, to impersonalism, which is energy of God. And from there we are now to the personalism. So in the world, today in the morning I was discussing this point, that in the world there is not a fight between religions. There is a discussion and difference between personalism and impersonalism and and voidism. So you've got Islam, or you've got Buddhism as voidism. Okay. Then you have got Islam as also not voidism, but they were energy. They say God is energy. He doesn't have form. So I've got a class also. Does God have a form? I've got a YouTube class. You verify that. People respond to that. I've given a class on that. And then you also have got Shankaracharya philosophy of Shunyavad, of impersonalism, which is again very similar. That's why you'll find I had read a discussion by that Buddhist, who's in India now, who's that from Tibet, Dalai Lama. So he says Hinduism and Buddhism, they're like twin sisters. So in a way it is correct. But Buddhism is basically Shunyavad, zero. There is no God. Whereas at least here, Lord Shankaracharya brought people to a form where there is a form which is Brahmajyoti, and that is full. And then in that, all the different incarnations come. Different God. It takes different incarnations. You see? You understand this point now? You've got basic idea? There's a lag. If you want to speak to me, please. Okay. All right. That's good. That's good. So we also pray to Lord Shiva and Ganesha. We also bow down. It's in a different way. I'll teach you that. It's slightly different. But those who do not understand this, they say, oh, they're praying, they're bowing down. There's a particular difference. Even very experienced devotees also do not know this. Prabhupada is taught in a particular way. Okay? So that's the reason why before Ramayana, always there is a story of Parvati Shiva, is their marriage. Always. So he's a pure devotee. Everything important is given to Lord Shiva. All right?
Yes, sir.
Lovely. Should we go ahead now? Okay, now I have to now share the screen. I hope my computer is frozen. God, my phone is frozen. Okay. All right. Phone is very slow. Okay, now here we are. Mayuresh Prabhu, can you read this now?
We read this already.
Yeah. It's a bit lagging. You will see it now.
Yeah. Should I start, Prabhu?
Yes, please.
No one would care to read the Gita if it had been spoken by a material man. And certainly Vasudeva would not have bothered to incorporate it into the history of Mahabharata. According to the above verses, Mahabharata.
Not Mahabharata. It's Vyasadeva, not Vasudeva. It's Vyasadeva and Mahabharata.
In the history of Mahabharata. According to the above verses, Mahabharata is the history of the ancient world, and Vyasdev is the writer of this great epic. The Bhagavad Gita.
Remember this. What did Prabhupada write? What did Prabhupada write? Prabhupada said, Mahabharata is the history of the ancient world. Prabhupada did not say history of the ancient India. So you see the vision? Because in Mahabharata war, there were kings who participated from other countries also. Okay. Even in the Srimad Bhagavatam, in Naimisharanya, and other places, when Sukadeva Goswami was gave the instructions of Parikshit Maharaj, sages from all around the world came. So we must broaden our vision. It's not about India only; it's about the whole world. Okay. Yeah, please continue.
The Bhagavad Gita is identical with Krishna, and because Krishna is the absolute supreme personality of Godhead, there is no difference between Krishna and his words. Therefore, the Bhagavad Gita is as worshipable as Lord Krishna himself, both being absolute. One who hears the Bhagavad Gita as is actually hears the words directly from the lotus lips of the Lord. But unfortunate persons say that the Gita is too antiquated for the modern man who wants to find out God by speculation or meditation.
Just 1 second here. This is so true, you know. I have had people coming to me, you know, talking to me, just talking about what God, why God, explain to me about why Krishna and all that. So many people with difficulties, big people. I mentioned to them, it's very interesting that you want to have material education. So you will go to kindergarten, then you will go to primary school, then you will go to secondary school, then you go to college, then you go to your post-graduation. But this important thing about spiritual education, you want in 2 minutes. You are not prepared to give time. And when I told them this, they were very surprised. They said, first time we have been told that this requires education. I said, yes, this requires education. And also, another thing is this, that they all want to jump into what is different with Radha and Krishna, why is Krishna moral, Krishna is immoral, you know, all those things. He is flirtatious. These are the first questions they ask. We are asking who is Krishna, you know. And they were bold when they asked me, okay, so why is Krishna immoral? Why is Krishna immoral? Why is Krishna immoral? Why? You know? I said, see, immorality is in the material world. If it is in the material world, then obviously it is going to be in Krishna. Because Krishna encompasses everything. Morality, immorality, everything. But the difference is this, that Krishna is absolute. So even if he goes and becomes a thief, it's very enjoyable. People want him to come in and steal butter, you know, from their homes. Whereas if I come and steal butter from your home, or you steal butter from my home, I'll beat you up, you know. That's the difference. That's right. So why is Krishna flirtatious in nature? See this? There are basic questions they're asking me, but so much at this level, you know. So, well, Krishna is flirtatious in nature. Yes, of course he is. But you should understand, because he is God, everything is within his reach. There is nothing which is outside of his reach. You understand this point? So that's why he can do whatever he wants to do. So that's why he's flirty, but not flirtious too. Flirtious meaning what? Something which is beyond him, not his. Then you will be flirting around. But everything is within him. And the thing is this, if I tell them more, they would have probably fallen down from the chair, So you want to be flirting with Krishna, that's why he's flirting with you. But it's not that simple. It's not that simple. You cannot do such things. He's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For us to be eternally qualified to love him. Okay? So these are things. People just understand, misunderstand as they want to. Must watch. Okay? So we understand this point. That's why Krishna and his words are not different. They are the same. They are the same. Okay? Now, anyone has any questions on what we discussed so far?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Here it was written that Bhagavad Gita was not included in Mahabharata. So it was part of the Kurukshetra. But why it was not included in Mahabharata and it was a separate?
No. Mahabharata, Prabhupada is saying that if Krishna is not God, if he was ordinary human being, then why did Vyasadeva bother to incorporate it in Mahabharata? And why did Mahabharata he write in the first place if it was just ordinary? As Prabhupada said, it is for the whole world. It was not India. Bharat Varsha, as we discussed some couple of weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago, that we must call India, India is not a name. It's from Indus Valley, which is Sindhu River, Sindhu River. It's a misnomer. Call Bharat. Bharat is the correct word. Bharat Varsha. And its whole earth was called Ilavrata before Bharat Maharaj. The earth was called Ilavrata. After Rishabdev's son Bharat Maharaj, the earth started to be called as Bharatavarsha. You understand this point? So because Krishna is God, his instructions are timeless. So people say that okay, this is modern men say Bhagavad Gita is not relevant to us today. But nowadays we find that more and more so-called modern animals, called as human beings, but they're animals, they come back to Bhagavad Gita for asking the questions, for getting their answers. So we are at the right time, right place. And online is the best place to spread as much as possible. And India is the right time because everywhere I see television, man, children are dancing on Bollywood song and parents are clapping and there are all these gods are dancing, Bollywood gods on this, children singing. Man, what has happened? Ask the mother, would like this? If a child would sing in the big audience 50 years ago, they would be happy. Parents said, no, people will not be happy. Love song sung by 7-year-old child. Love song, and all the singers saying such a nice song, is singing very nice. But they will not accept Krishna did Rasa dance at 7 years old. They will not accept that. Now, when Krishna danced with the gopis, he was 7 years old. How can there be sexual attraction between the two? You tell me, 7-year-old children. That people will not accept. Only those who are very expert, they will paint Krishna as a child dancing with gopis as children. Otherwise, they'll say, show Krishna as a teenage boy, like them, dancing with gopis, fully grown. No, it's bogus, complete bogus. So we have to be very, very careful. If we are going to bring our own past imperfect knowledge to the perfect knowledge of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhāgavatam, we'll always be in conflict. So we should be completely open to absorb this, use our intelligence to say, yes, let me understand it in this way, that way, think about it. Then we accept it. See? So whatever we know, we're telling you where we read from. You can also read the same place. Open book. Right? Okay? I think we can stop here at this stage. Anyone else has any question? This is okay? Is this question answered?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Good. Anyone else want to say anything?
Path Prabhu raised hand.
Discussion?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Path Prabhu raised some hand. I don't know whether you could see it or not. Yes, Path.
Yes, Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhu, I just wanted to just ask this, that we have read it so many times that Krishna is absolute, and there is no difference between his name, his form, his words, and all are worshipable. So by logic, like by thinking, we can understand that, okay, if Krishna is absolute, then obviously his paraphernalia, his features also must be absolute. But is there any shastric, like I was thinking, is the verse in Ishopanishad, the Purnasya Purnamidam, does that relate with like the form and everything of the words of Krishna being absolute, like as good as Krishna himself, the name of Krishna being as good as Krishna himself?
Path Prabhu. Sorry, Prabhuji. I think my dad's having connection issues. He seems to have left. So we'll try and get him back in. If you could please repeat your question. Sorry.
Sorry, something happened there. Path Prabhu, could you repeat this again, please?
Prabhu, should I repeat the entire question?
Yes, please. Because I was out. Something happened. Krishna kicked me out of this discussion. He said, you're not needed here. Get out of here. Yes.
Yes, Prabhu. So, Prabhu, my question was that, just to put it very shortly, like, is there a Shastrik? Can you give a Shastrik reference, like, where, like, Shastrik reference about there is no difference in the name of Krishna, in the form of Krishna, in the words of Krishna? Like, all of them are as good as Krishna himself.
Yeah,
Yes,
there are everywhere.
I was just thinking that like we read in Ishopanishad, the Purnamada Purnamidam, is that related with this?
No, it's not God. You can say that God is complete. So yes, his word is also as good as him. There are verses in the Srimad Bhagavatam also about this, references of that. Everywhere. Wherever Kali Yuga, people are so short-lived, so unintelligent. People are completely foolish, but they don't accept themselves to be foolish. That's why Krishna has come in the name. So even if you just chant his names, the bhakti process begins. Okay. But I think if you want more clarity, you must ask this in our question answer session. So then I can give you many references. Right now, this in half a second, I can't give you many references. Okay.
Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Right. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Anybody else want to say anything? Any questions? You want to say something before I get kicked out again?
Hare Krishna.
Yes,
I was just thinking on the question that some people asked about Krishna's, the question itself, that can Krishna be impure? I was just thinking that it's like, Tulsi Maharani, she purifies everything, right? And the same thing about Krishna. So just thought that it can be probably shared with a person who's very new and doesn't know and ask these kind of questions, that anything that Krishna touches becomes pure, just in a very simple way, I thought maybe to explain. So there's no question of any impurity.
Yeah, but they don't even accept Krishna as God. Yeah, they don't even accept Krishna as God. So we have to tell them indirectly. So he is absolute, he's God. That's how they present. Okay, fine.
Yeah. Now, also kind of like you're measuring with the eyes that you have, which is like the frog mentality, where you are seeing from whatever knowledge and information you have around you, and then you're kind of judging a situation where it's not.
That's right. We told them this, it was agreed. Yes, that's right. So then, okay. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I'll wait for 10 more seconds if someone wants to say something on this point of discussion. All right, Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. We complete our discussion today at this point. and we will continue from next week onwards. So, whose turn is it today to sing Maharaj, Maharaj? Don't raise your hand or something. I can't see you people.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes.
Subhadra is, she's having very bad cough, like she's got flu. So she won't be able to sing. I think it's her turn, maybe. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. She's not, I don't know if she went to school. Something, I can't see anything.
Yeah, she's coming here, Prabhu.
She's here.
Navina?
Navina is here.
Yeah.
Okay, Navina,
Come on.
let's start then. You can take the lead.
Please look at here.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, start.
Maharaj, Maharaj, please hear us.
Maharaj, Maharaj, please hear us.
We have learned some real good stuff.
We have learned some real good stuff.
Maharaj, we have learned one thing.
Maharaj, we have learned one thing.
And today for you, we will sing.
And today for you, we will sing.
If our room is clean,
If our room is clean,
then our mind is clean.
then our mind is clean.
If our mind is clean,
If our mind is
we
clean,
can do anything.
we can do anything.
If our room is dirty,
If our room is dirty,
then so are we.
then so are we.
But if we are dirty,
But if we are dirty,
we're not happy.
we are not happy.
Wasting time
Wasting time
is the greatest crime.
is the greatest crime.
Because wasted time
Because wasted time
means a wasted mind.
means a wasted mind.
So best use your time
So best use your time
when you're in your prime.
when you're in your prime,
And your whole life
and your whole life
will be sublime.
will be sublime.
If your wealth is gone,
If your wealth is gone,
then there's nothing wrong.
then there is nothing wrong.
But if your health is gone,
But if your health is gone,
that's a different song.
that's a different song.
If your character dies,
But if your character dies,
then the world will cry.
then the world will cry.
Only saintly behavior
Only saintly behavior
lets humanity thrive.
lets humanity thrive.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
We must always remember Krishna
We must always remember Krishna
and never forget him too.
and never forget him too.
But how are we to practice this with so many things to do?
But how are we to practice this with so many things to do?
That is the greatest question.
That is the greatest question,
And here is the greatest clue.
and here is the greatest clue.
We must learn to work so nicely that Krishna remembers you.
We must learn to work so nicely that Krishna remembers you.
So listen very closely
So listen very closely
and make your thinking sharp.
and make your thinking sharp.
Let's learn how we can live and work so Krishna won't depart.
Let's learn how we can live and work so Krishna won't depart.
If something's due tomorrow,
If something's due tomorrow,
finish it today.
finish it today.
And whatever's due today,
And whatever is due today,
do it now, don't delay.
do it now. Don't.
Your friends might be lazy
If your friends might be lazy
or doing bad things.
or doing bad things,
But if you think again,
but you think again,
don't follow them,
don't follow them,
and you will win the end.
and you will win the end.
Whatever work we're given,
Whatever work we given,
we do our very best.
do our very best.
We only live with what we need and give Krishna the rest.
We only live with what we need and give Krishna the rest.
This is how to live to work and to play. If you learn to live this way, we'll see Krishna every day.
To work and to want to live this way, see Krishna every day.
And when our time is up, he'll take us up above. We'll sing and dance with him with our hearts full of love.
When our time is up, he'll take us up above. We'll sing and dance with him with a heart full of love.
So chant Krishna's names, his glory and his fame. It's the only way this world we can never become same.
Krishna's names, his glories and his fame. It's the only way this world will ever
become same. Not we can ever become. Will ever become same.
Will ever become same.
Will ever become same. I forgot.
Okay, now please ask this greatest question. Okay.
Now please ask this greatest question.
Now please ask this greatest question.
And find this greatest clue.
And find this greatest clue.
You can only remember Krishna.
You can only remember Krishna.
And Krishna remembers you.
And Krishna remembers you.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jai Shri Mahavishnu Goswami Maharaj, Shri Gurudev ki Jai.
Jai.
Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Jai.
Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtan Mahayagna ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai Gaur Chandra Prem Anande.
Hari Hari Bol.
Ananta Koti Vaishnava ki Jai. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Mahavishnu Swamiti Namine. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swamiti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurvani Prasayana Nivishesha Shuddhavadi Pashatati Swami. Hare Krishna. With this, we complete our today's discussion. And we will meet Krishna willing next week, same place, same time. Till then, chant Hare Krishna and be happy. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.